Hello, and welcome back to Haruka and Sora, and let's get started with today's read-through.
これをロードしていいの?
Ohayo, Sora.
おはよう、ハル。
Today was Sunday. Just as I was about to make lunch, Sora got up. Coincidentally, today is actually Sunday. She must have been very tired, since I had stayed with Sora until she'd gone to sleep last night. She hadn't gotten up once. Did you get a good night's sleep? Half asleep, judging from the eyes, Sora lopped down on the chair. Want food, or just something to drink?
お茶。
Wakatta. I brewed up some ocha and placed it in front of Sora, but Sora just blankly stared at the rising steam without touching it. Well, I'm doing the laundry, so if you got anything to wash, give it to me. Sora didn't move from her chair as she responded, still with the low blood pressure. Sora got up, so I went to the bathroom, switched on the washing machine, and started the laundry. I felt bad about using the washing machine's vibrations to wake her up. I needed to pull all my other accumulated matters in order. I spread the mountain of mail I've taken from the mailbox onto the table.
何これ?
Letters, bills, and also junk mail and stuff.
とか?
I'll sort these now.
手伝う.
Yeah, thanks. So from the left side, sort them according to your judgment between utility-related, store-related, letters to our parents, and junk mail.
これはダイレクトメール.
What's the term they use for junk mail?
これはダイレクトメール.
Directo mail?
これはダイレクトメール.
Anyway. I took a letter from the pile, checked the address, and put it on the spot for letters going to the store.
春宛ての手紙。おめでとうございます。あなたは豪華商品に当選しました。至急この電話にご連絡を。
Obviously, that's spam mail. Like that.
簡単なアンケートに答えると DVD とかプラズマテレビがもらえるって書いてある。
Go that way.
春、個人情報ばらまきすぎなんじゃない?
How they found me out? I have no idea. I put a letter from the electric company on the leftmost. I had the flat debit for fuel and lighting, so they only sent me a receipt. I opened up and looked at the cell phone bill. This month I was paying the same as I normally paid. But next month.
何?
Next month's phone bill. How much do you think it will be?
多分、電話会社の人が喜びそう。だから、早くプラン変更するか。家に光回線引いて。
That's Sora, trying to teach me by example what will happen if I don't get online. Certainly, the fee would be less than using the net on her cell phone like this.
私は別に今のままでも構わないけど。
I guess there's no for you to not go online.
後で調べといてあげるね。
There's also an option for me to get a cable though.
ケーブル取ったらもう一本注文する。
That would be the most wasteful thing. Oh, this is... For the mountain of the letters, I picked up a colored envelope. Soyeba, I noticed that yesterday, but until now I totally forgotten about it. The letter was written in English cursive. By all appearances, it was an overseas letter. And on the address was my otosan's name.
それって、パパのお仕事関係の人かな?
Sora's face clouded over a bit. I guess we weren't quite over it yet. Whenever we were made aware of Okasan and Otosan not being there, the better feelings came back. I see. They're imported from overseas, so maybe it's like you say. The envelope was thin, but its contents were hard, like they'd been crammed tight. What could be inside? I put that tegami in the place for tegami to our parents, and was back to sorting the remaining letters. Sate. Having finished sorting the letters, I picked up the overseas letter in question. What could be in this letter?
春、開けてみて。
I used scissors to cut a straight line into the top of the tegami. I took out what was inside, and there was a tegami, and
これってチケット？
yep, looks like plane ticket though. In addition to the tegami, there were 2 plane ticket though inside. Naturally, though, everything was written in English, and it was hard to discern at a glance what it was meant. Helsinki business class. I knew it. It was Finland. Wait, that's it. Helsinki's Finland, right? The geography. Yes. At least I remember. I and Sora gave each other puzzled looks.
手紙には何て書いてあるの？
I don't really know. The tegami was even harder to understand because there was so many cursed letters not found in PCs or word processors. I quickly gave up on it.
これヨーロッパの方からの手紙。
You don't understand it? すごい, Sora.
ほら、差出人のところに国の名前が書いてある。
There is. I know the ticket though is for business class of a plane, and the scheduled date of the flight is the day after tomorrow.
え？
It looks like the plane leaves Tokyo in the night.
なんで？
Well, anyway, I definitely had to decipher this letter. Can I decipher it with a normal English dictionary? Looking at the letter's postmark, it was dated to 3 weeks ago. Considering the transfer from overseas to Nihon, the delivered to my previous home and the final transfer, I could understand why it took so long to get here. But why was the ticket?
この手紙貸して。
Sora, can you read it?
そう。
Well then.
ちょっと調べてみる。
Oi, Sora! Sora took the tegami and went to her room. Not understanding why, I followed after her. Looking it up in the dictionary we use for school?
そんなめんどいことしない。
Saying that, Sora started up her laptop. Then she plopped down right in front of it and tightly squeezed her stuffed rabbit. Stuffed usagi. When the OS booted up, Sora clicked an icon and opened up something like a notepad. Then, staring at her notepad, she began to slowly enter the contents of that letter into her PC. Huh? What are you doing? Sora?
時間かかるから、春は好きにしてていい。
Hi, wakatta. Sora seemed to have her own ways. I'll leave this one to her. She'll basically use the Google Translate during that time. Wait, I think Google Translate was already existed at that time anyway. Anyway, Sora was entering in letters with a skilled hand. I went back to the kitchen so I could get her some ocha at least. After taking the ocha to Sora, I continued to check the tegami. The mail, not letter. As most of them were direct mailings, I would probably skim through them once and throw them away. And when I read letters addressed to my parents, I could feel the various thoughts of people whom they had influenced. People offering their condolences, people worried about us who were left behind, and also letters from those whom our parents sold furniture and loved them. When people praised our parents' store, I got very proud. I closely observed my parents working relentlessly, how they take trips buying furniture and toiling hard to pay off debts. So when my parents were congratulated or recognized for what they'd done, I was happy. But I couldn't receive those compliments anymore. Because not being able to succeed my parents' store, it closed down. After my parents died, I had to step in to do what they'd done up to then for me. Arranging the funeral, contacting associates, relatives, and friends, and handling unfamiliar tax and inheritance matters, things I'd never done before then. My aunts helped me a lot, but there were so many decisions to make and things to learn that I didn't have time to grieve. I was just getting through my days. In those days, there was thus no free space in my heart. Such as I was, I felt no sort of confidence that I could succeed and maintain our parents' store. Everything was so burdensome. I felt bitter that I had fallen into this situation. Although I couldn't afford it, I had no idea what to do. Although closing of the store should have lifted a load off my shoulders, my sense of loss only grew greater. Even if there were some insurmountable circumstances, I had, with a stroke, erased evidence that my parents had lived. It was too late for regrets now. I looked at my parents' personal effects I had taken home from the store and I realized what I had done. Everyone told me it couldn't be helped, since I was still a child, and since I had to look after Sora. To me, such comfort was only empty. I came to think that even if I spent my whole life, I could never regain what my parents had built. I was happy to receive the tegami thanking them, but at the same time I was pained by the feeling of helplessness. I, who had closed the store, couldn't get my head around all the people who missed my parents. I had to write back. I collected the tegami. I also had to notify all the transfer letters that my address had changed. And I had to thank them for what they did for my parents. That was the least I could do now.
Haru!
Sora!
疲れてるの?
Hi. Writing replies to all those letters took a lot of brain power, so maybe I am a bit tired. So, how'd it went, Sora?
お腹すいた.
Wakata. It's almost dinner time, so I'll get it ready. I put the reply I had finished writing into an envelope. I'd send them out tomorrow after school. Tokorede, did you finish that one?
もうちょっと.
Do you really know what it says?
多分.
Alright. Tanondezo. I put away my pen and the letters and headed for the kitchen.
ハル.
Sora?
なんでもない.
Remember, it was day after tomorrow, so if they need to leave, it is super short notice. Like, they only have basically almost 2 days. No, I mean... Well, it is literally 2 days, because it's, the plane leaves the day after tomorrow. Anyway, after I finished making dinner, I went to Sora's room. Sora sat on my lap, continuing to transcribe the contents of the tegami. I wonder what could be the substance of that tegami Sora was transcribing as if stroking something with those slender fingers. The fact that they sent us a ticket and the fact that we've been invited, those I knew, but what could have been their intention?
できた. ハルも確認して.
Yep, got it. Sora and I compared the transcribed contents to the tegami to make sure there were no errors. There were 2 or 3 typos. So, what do we do now?
ネットの翻訳サイトで調べるの.
A net site? What's the Japanese for translation site?
ネットの翻訳サイトで調べるの.
Too fast for me. Anyway.
完璧じゃないけど.
These days, it can even translate. Sugoi. Well, we know that how it goes firsthand. Well, some of us at least.
ハルが思っている以上に進んでるの.
Yeah. そうか.
じゃあ早速.
Sora pulled up a search engine and navigated to a site that did translation services. Then she pasted her transcribed writing and clicked on the translate button. Translation in progress window popped up. The bar gradually filled from 0 to 100%, indicated translation complete, and showed the translated text. Man, there was a time it took a while for translations to load. Dore. This isn't Nihongo. The translated words.
まだ途中. 一旦英語にしたの. これから日本語にするの.
I see. Can you even do it that way?
でもそれじゃあ部分的に正確な翻訳になってないところが出ちゃうけど、そこは春の国語力で何とかして。
We know this feeling. Got it. Sora pressed the translate button and waited a while, and the Japanese translation appeared. To the children of the Kasagano married couple who become beloved. The letter began with that sort of greeting. Well, we know they hop on a plane to Europe. After little was left lunch break, from the roof of the skakko, I looked down onto the field. In such hot weather as this, there were students playing soccer and volleyball. Everyone was in such high spirits. I couldn't speak for them. The sunlight was strong, and this place sweat sprouted from me even as I laid motionless. I opened my ketai. I had mailed the contents of the letter we translated yesterday to my phone, ketai, and once again read the email from the beginning. The sender was someone who had worked with my parents. Ever since he had helped my parents when they had gone overseas to buy furniture, they had kept in touch even when they weren't working and had become friends. He said a colleague had told him about my parents' misfortune. Such a tragedy. I stocked good furniture for the two of them, but I'll sadly never get to show them now. And the condolences and recollections of my parents went on for a while. Then the story continued. Apparently, our parents were planning to take a family trip for our summer vacation. Let's see, ask me. The letter writer seemed to have been looking forward to meeting us, of whom our parents had boasted so much. Losing your parents must have you feeling down, but how about you come visit us for a change of mood? I'd like to invite you to this country your parents wish to show you. If you like, I want to use the enclosed passports. Passports? Did they say passports? I'd like to explain to you what your parents did here, and if you're interested in what they did, I would be happy to work with you. Oh, I see. That is actually useful if that is actually useful because that would mean he would learn how to do the business now. I said a lot, but we want to support you from now on. That's why we're thinking we'd like to meet you and talk. Haruka, Sora, I always look forward to meeting the parents who share the same name as the sky your parents looked up with inspiration. Yeah, the weird fact that their parents named them after the sky, you know. The sky must be really important for them. The letter thus concluded. A letter coming from a distant foreign land. That person respected and loved our parents too. And thinking of us, they even invited us to their country. After reading this tegami, Sora asked me,
Haru, どうするの?
At that time, I felt too many different ways to respond. Having forwarded as an email to my ketai, I reread the letters many times since yesterday. But even now, I could not collect my thoughts on what to do. A little while ago, I looked at the sender's country in the library. Where in Europe it was, what the time difference was, the climate, what languages were understood, etc. It was a beautiful place. It seemed orderly, and the colors of the sky and the earth were different than in Nippon, giving it a deep atmosphere. I wondered how my parents felt about that country, and did they think of us who were still in Nippon? Honestly, my interest was endless, but there were things that made me reluctant. Am I qualified to meet that person? He worked with my parents, and they closed down their store. I, who had ended what my parents had done, sadly didn't know how to accept it when their greatness was talked about. All because I didn't have the strength. I was being reminded of that. Similar feelings to when I got the letter regretting the closure of the store, filled with apologies welled up in me. I couldn't go to see him with those sorts of feelings. I couldn't go.
Haru.
The door to the ruta opened, and Sora emerged unhurriedly. Hmm? What's the matter, Sora? I put my ketai in my pocket.
ご飯食べた後、急にいなくなるんだもん。探した。
Sorry, I went to the library. I thought I looked up the country the guy who sent us the letter was from.
そんなの、言ってくれたらネットで探してあげるのに。
Searching for Hon in the library is surprisingly fun. Why don't you try it too? Don't you like things like treasure hunts?
めんどいからやだ。
確かに。
Haru.
Huh? Nani? Ah, lunch break is over already. Sora, I'm going back.
うん。
どうしたの?
ぼーっとしてたから熱中症になったのかって思った。
No, I don't. The wind is blowing and feels good.
汗だらだらかいて気持ち悪い。
Do I?
素材はいいんだから、少しは気を使ってよね。
わかった。
はい、ハンカチ。
Arigato. I wiped my sweat with the handkerchief Sora lent me. Although I've seen the handkerchief doing laundry, when Sora gave it to me, it somehow smelled good. Does a handkerchief become something different only when a girl holds it? I wondered.
ああ、返さなくていい。そのまま洗濯して。
Hi, wakata.
春、変。
Honda? It was like she had read my mind. I took a start. Certainly, I was thinking about the tegami, but I didn't intend to get so distracted or blinded by it.
私のハンカチじーっと見て。いやらしい。
It was that?
ほら、ぼーっとしてないで教室に戻る。
Ay, wakata. Sora grabbed my hand and rigorously pulled me into the classroom.
それでね、テレビで言ってたのが、あ、はるくんちついちゃった。残念ね。
I'm interested in the rest. What you'll have to tell me some other time.
わかった。そんじゃあはるくん、そらちゃん、また明日ね。
Ah, mata ashita.
それじゃあ、さよなら。
Kyotsukete, Migiwa-san.
またね。
We saw both of them off. Today, school ended without incident, and we went back home.
暑い。アイス食べたい。
There should be some left.
うん。
After unlocking the door, Sora kamikaze into the sweltering house.
はる、麦茶飲みたい。持ってきて。
Huh? What's to change your clothes? Come get it yourself.
めんどい。
Sora opened the freezer, threw one of the pre-cut pieces of chocolate ice cream into her mouth, and went back to her room. Really? So selfish. But serendipitously, I wanted a drink too, so I laid out 2 cups and took some ice from the freezer. As I poured Mugicha into the cups, the ice cracked and spun around like it was swimming. Anyway, I took a sip. The cool Mugicha expelled the discomfort of the rapid room, but the troubles at the bottom of my heart were not relieved.
はる、
Gomen, I'll bring it right away. I prepared the tray and put the 2 cups on it.
ねえ、はる、何を考えてるの？
Huh?
昨日から手紙に書いてあったことで悩んでたの？
Sorewa. Sora fixed her stare into my eyes. I was a little overwhelmed by those pupils. Certainly, since yesterday, I hadn't come up with a clear answer to the matter. But inside, I already had decided on an answer. Sora, do you want to go?
どっちでもいい。
I see. Well, it's a short notice thing, and we do have school. If we skip school again, our teachers will get angry. It's just we didn't get the chance.
嘘。
Huh?
そんな嘘でごまかさないで。
Sora's pupils contracted. With a strong will, Sora was saying that my lame excuses would not work on her.
はるは別の理由があるんでしょ？翻訳した手紙を読んだ時から。その前から様子がおかしかった。お客さんの手紙読んで返事を書いてた時からだった。はるは今でも気にしてる。お店を閉めちゃったことを。
Sora hit the nail on the head. Those words took my breath away.
お店のお客さんから手紙が来るたびに、はる、悲しそうな顔をしてた。
And that's right, because I couldn't replace our parents by succeeding to the store. I became a traitor to the host of the people who enjoyed it.
でも、それははるのせいじゃない。
No, because I didn't have the strength not to.
はる。
Sora gently caught my cheeks with both hands.
はるがそうだったら、私もそう。あの時の私は泣いてばかりで、全然はるの力になれなかった。お店を畳むことが、はるにとってもすごく苦しいことだったのに、マンションで私たちだけで暮らしていくのが、どんなに大変かもこれっぽっちも分かってなかった。私ははるに全部責任を押し付けて、 一人で泣いていただけ。そして春を追い詰めて苦しめて、最後に春を危ない目に遭わせちゃったのも私。ほら、こんなにいっぱい私も悪いことしてる。
That's not true. I just wanted to flee from the weight of responsibility, and then had time to think about your feelings. Yeah, I didn't think of them. That's why I closed the store and moved out of the mansion and ran to here. I just ran away instead of facing it.
私が春だったとしても、春以上にうまくやれたかはわからない。でもね、私は春とここに来たことに後悔なんかしてないよ。いろいろあったけど、今の私たちがあるのは、春がここで私と暮らそうって言ってくれたから、春についてきてよかった。それだけでも春は間違ってないんだよ。
Sora,
春、全部自分の力不足だなんて思わないで。春だってここに来てよかったことだってあったでしょ。だから春が全部間違ってるってことはない。無理やり続けていたとしてもうまくいかなかったかもしれない。そしてもっと悲しいことになっていたかもしれない。だから春が決めたことは間違っていないんだよ。春は責任をちゃんと取ったの。パパとママの代わりにお店を閉めてあげることができたの。
is that so?
春は責任を果たした。それに誰も春を責める人なんていない。手紙でも春に文句を言ってくる人なんていないでしょ。
But I couldn't face up to it. I'm sorry,
だったら春はどうしたい？
but I didn't have the strength to run the store.
それは当たり前。
Huh?
だって春も私も何も知らないもん。お店をどうやって経営していくか、どんなお客さんが来てくれるか、そしてお仕事で関わってきた人のこと全然分かってなかったから。
I should have been collecting like mistakes in the script. Yeah, maybe I should have done that to help the QA process. I really should have done that. Oh well.
全然知らないのにできるはずもないよ。春、私は知りたい。パパとママが一生懸命やってたお仕事のこと。もっと聞きたい。お客さんから手紙をくれた人が知ってるパパとママのことを。それで私もパパとママのお店を継いでみたいって思えるようになったら、それから始めてもいいと思う。春、決めることはいつだってできるよ。春は何度も言ってる。私たちはこれからだって。これからも謝ることばっかりじゃなくて、私たちにできることを見つけていけばいい。
Sora,
春に落ち込まれたら私も悲しい。だからもっと思ってること言って。私も春と一緒に受け止めていきたいから。
hi. Arigato, Sora. Once again, by keeping everyone to myself, everything to myself, I had made Sora uneasy. Yeah, I really should have collected these mistakes. Sora always noticed the small changes within me and worried right with me. I think that concern had saved me. As we smiled slightly at each other, the ice melted and made a clear sound.
それより麦茶早く持ってきてよね。
Gotcha. Saying that bashfully, Sora went back to her room. Sora had broken my obsession. Just by changing my point of view, she expanded my world. I was ashamed to have always treated her like a child. Really. By just apologizing, I may have blinded myself to what our parents did. Although I wanted to be proud of what the two of them had done. I was beating myself up. That's not right, Sora. It's like you said. There are a lot of things I need to learn. There are things about our parents I don't know. I'm sure you don't even know half of what I know just from hearing stories about souvenirs from work. We'll have to see. With our own eyes. I wonder if this is right. I'm sure you don't. Souvenirs from work. I think this could be a better way. Yeah, that could be rewritten. Because saying souvenirs is like... Anyway. I don't want to lose any more of what our parents left us. Besides, I wanted to take care of this new relation that reached out to us. Thinking about that got me excited. We might find something we could and wanted to do. Sora was pushing me, but I had visions myself. I wanted to do my best so that Sora could look at me. Sora was always there to guide me to distant skies ahead. This time, it was my turn to take her to a future of expanding possibilities. Sora, coming in. Oi! Did you go online without even changing? I replaced the ice that had melted in the Mugicha and brought it to Sora's room. The window was open, of course, but in the still hot room, Sora was clicking away at her keyboard. You really don't get tired of that, going on the net right after you get home.
何か言った?
Nothing at all. Kore, your Mugicha. I'll put it here.
ありがとう.
Anyway, tokorede, isn't this place a mess recently? You should clean your room properly.
どこに何があるか分かってるからいい.
Honto? Sora's room was a bit neglected, being littered with magazines, wrappers, and a bag of candy. Even the last place we lived, when she'd been shut in on the internet all day, her room had been a terrible mess. Whatever this is, throw it away pronto. Where's your garbage can?
春出てって。後でやっとくから。
Isn't it putting it up like this is why your room gets so messy? Is this a camisole? Put it in the laundry where it goes.
うるさいな。いいからもう出て行って。麦茶ありがとう。もういいから。
That's... Sora suddenly pulled on the camisole she left on the floor, trying to snatch it from my hands. Sora and I collided head-on. Thrown back by the collision, I stepped on the underfoot magazine and fell. Thunk. I hit the back of my head and almost blacked out for a moment. Sora was blown away by my fall and fell face up on her bed.
もう、春のバカ。
Are you hurt, Sora?
お尻打った。
Doesn't look like you're otherwise injured. When I fell down, I hit my back hard, I guess. It was a little hard to breathe, and I couldn't get up right away. I lifted where I fell and shuddered. At a different angle, I might have hit my head on the hard bedpost.
春、大丈夫?
Yeah, somehow.
まったく。よいしょ。
Sora had fallen on her butt, staggered as she tried to get up. Oi! Almost falling right back down on her backside, Sora panicked and tried to right her body and regain balance, but... The moment Sora stepped forward to try and right her balance, she stepped on my crotch hard. Shit. Man, this gotta hurt.
何今の柔らかいの。
Sora!
春、大丈夫？あ、
Once again, unbalanced, Sora stepped on my crotch.
春、大丈夫？
Sora panicked, patting my crotch. At that moment, My dick twitched as a reaction. With Sora applying her hand and gently rubbing, the pain was relieved and felt good. But when it was touched, while vulnerable, I was startled, and my crotch shivered and spasmed.
何これ。
My crotch, touched by Sora, grew hotter. Touching my slightly engorged dick, she looked at me dumbfounded. It's not like that. It's because you touched me.
ふーん。春ってば、踏まれたら感じるタイプだったんだ。
Jesus, man. No, I'm not. It's because you were stroking it.
こんな風に
やめて。
そんなこと言って、ここは全然反応が違うじゃない？
しょうがないな。It's soft and feels good. My dick was swelling so much that it made a tent in my pants. Sora didn't stop her slow stroking of that bulge.
苦しそう。春のここ。
Soda! As my zipper was pulled down, just a little, my dick sprung out.
春、これはどういうこと？
Didn't you make it like this?
うん。
I stripped Sora's uniform from the top. With Sora helping me, I unhooked her skirt. Sora's skin was flushed a slight pink. Holding it with one hand, Sora removed her bra. Her body's subtle fidgeting was extremely cute. Sora stood up in front of me. Stripping Sora of her stockings, I slowly removed her panties. Then I left her panties dangling from one leg and pulled her into a hug.
春、
Pulling her into my hole, I straddled her and deliberately lowered her lip. Next day, lunch break.
あ、戻ってきたな。どこ行ってたんだ？もう
Wait.
先食ってるぞ。
Isn't it the flight like literally the night of that day? How? I don't think they're gonna make it at this point. Anyway. Go man. I just went out to make a phone call. As I put my ketai in my pocket, I approached my friends, who were eating lunch in the corner of the field.
はあ。今日はなんかお前忙しそうだな。
Yep, I've been doing a lot of research.
春、こっちに座って。お茶買ってきてくれた？
Yep, here you go.
ありがとう。ほら、食べよ。時間ないよ。
You didn't had to wait for me.
今日はソラちゃんの愛妻弁当なのかな？お弁当も双子だね。
I opened the Tupperware, and both our lunches were the same. Well, that's what happened when you use the same ingredients for both.
ソラさん、お弁当作るの上手になりましたね。センスがあるんですね。色も綺麗だし。そう？ネットで調べたのを真似しただけなんだけど。
But that was no reason not to enjoy the praise. Sora shyly poked at her side dishes.
ソラちゃん、私の煮物と卵焼き交換しよう。いいけど。ありがとう。いただきます。
おお、じゃあ俺ははるかと交換しようかな。いっそ全部交換なんてどうだ？
If I traded with you, I'd have next to nothing to eat. You almost
だっ
finished
たら
eating.
パン買ってきてやるよ。10個か？あ、20個か？それぐらいの価値があるって分かってるからよ。
Well, some other time. Suddenly pain ran down my side. As I smiled really at Ryohei's over enthusiasm, Sora glared. I was going to trade away all the lunches Sora had gotten such pains to make for me, but stabbing me normally with chopsticks. I put the lunch Sora had made into my mouth. It was as Mikiwa-san said. Sora's cooking ability was improving a lot. If it kept being this good, I wouldn't get tired if I had to eat her cooking every day.
春、おいしい？
Yeah, I was starving, so it tastes really good.
そう。カズちゃん、外でお弁当食べるとおいしいね。ええ、だんだん涼しくなってきたから過ごしやすいし。でも、アキラはピクニック気分が味わえるのが好きなんでしょ？そうかも。ほんと元気ね、アキラは。
じゃあ冬の寒い時も外で食えばまた新たな楽しみが発見できそうだな。やってみるか、アキラ。
風邪ひいちゃうからそんなことさせません。楽しいと思うのに。
焚き火焚いたりしてそれを囲んでな。
面白そう。お鍋も用意してね。
That would be going beyond the limits of Obento.
外でって言ったらバーベキューだな。あ、そういやここのところやってなかったし、今年は盛大にやるか。
あ、いいね。私場所提供するよ。また2人で勝手に。いいじゃん。カズちゃんも一緒にやろうよ。え、私も？
そりゃそうだろ。カズちゃんは大事な肉のスポンサー様だ。その胸とか尻についた栄養のもとを食わせていただきます。
おっぱいの栄養ゲット。いい加減にしなさい。
ギャボー。
あなたたちはまったく。ああ、おっぱいの栄養ソラちゃんもつけようよ。私も。アキは栄養いっぱい貯めないとね。アキラはお腹に溜めないように注意してよ。せっかく可愛い体型してるんだから。大丈夫だって。カズちゃんのプニプニも好きだから。触ってないのにわかるの、アキラ？カズちゃんぐらいのプニプニだったら男の子も大好きだと思うけどな。ね、ハルくん。
Don't bring me into this.
ハルも答えないで。
おい、俺も混ぜてくれよ。
It really was the same scene as always here. Since last time when we had explained our situation, we hadn't had the chance to gather with everyone like this to boisterously eat lunch. But today everyone was no different from always, happily laughing as they played Boks and Sukumis. Perhaps the fractures between us are still not resolved. Maybe I was just taking advantage of everyone's kindness by expecting tolerance. But I wanted to continue being with everyone. I'll hold this memory tightly within my heart that I may never forget it, so that I could remember how I felt at this point whenever.
ねえねえ、ハルくん。
Amatsume poked at my shoulders.
ハルくんも主役なんだから絶対参加してね。
What did they mean by this? What did she mean by this? Is she self-aware?
ハルくんの都合がいい時に一緒にやろうね。
I was thrilled. It was like Amatsume really was looking into my heart to speak those kinds of noises for me. What did Amatsume, who always said things to make me take start, mean when she spoke to me? I wondered. Make me take start? What the hell? They could have improved that. Something like make who always said things to spur me on, or something like that. I don't know, man. But those words were always concerned about me. Of that much I was sure. So I decided to honestly respond to her words with my feelings. Yep, I'll definitely take part, so don't leave me out.
約束するよ。
One once again exchanged promises with Amatsune. Doing that could help me connect with everyone again. It was okay for me to be in this place, so I did not feel nervous about what I was about to try to do. Well, I picked up the old suitcase I'd taken out of the storage yesterday. Wait, was the timing of the days incorrect? What the hell? Because when they got the letter, they were like, the day after tomorrow. But it's already the day after, it's already the night after tomorrow or something like that. I don't know, man. Unless the first scene was in the morning of that day, and today like right now is like the tomorrow, so tomorrow of tomorrow. Okay, I picked up an old suitcase I'd taken out of storage yesterday. Inside were changes of just washed clothes, towels, and some medicine in case we got sick, with some other small things crammed inside. The trunk still had a little space left, even with our luggage in it. Soeba, I could remember my parents taking this with them to go overseas. One time he said he brought this trunk overseas. My cousin said she liked the old bag because it looked like something a traveling old gentleman would use in an old movie. Every now and then, I couldn't fathom Okasan's taste. I mean, her Okasan was responsible for Sora's fashion sense anyway. But I thought that being used for so long brought out a good atmosphere. What else do we need? Let's put these away for 2 now. I took my ticketo and passporto I placed upon the table. I never went overseas before, but the passporto has been arranged for me. Okasan and Otosan really thought that one day they would take us overseas, traveling with our parents. That would never be realized now. I will use it, Okasan and Otosan. I took the ticketo and passporto. We got it all together and got them into the trunk. I guess that this is how it is. I briefly recited what we needed to give it a check, but it would probably be fine. If I realize I needed something later, I'll buy it en route or source it from where we were going. With that, there were still things I needed to do. Alright, let's go. Sora, still not ready?
まだ
If you don't hurry up, we won't make it in time for the train.
だったらちゃんと説明してよね。昨日は東京に出かけるからって言っただけで、それが旅行だなんて聞いてない。
Huh? Did I say that?
それに春が選んだ着替えの服、センスない。それに何？お醤油の瓶入れてるし、わけわかんない。
Well, I thought when we get there you would miss soy sauce. You'll miss soy sauce.
春は旅行しない方がいい。うちでお醤油飲んでればいい。
Go man. I made you go through all this trouble.
あ、ノートパソコン入れ忘れた。
Oh, so that's how they call it. Not a pascom. Oi! You bring so much stuff as luggage.
春が持ってよね、荷物。春ってば、ほんと計画性がないんだから。
There really is a lot of luggage, so you don't have to go back and get more. But could it be helped? Oh, okay. But could it be helped? I was going with Sora.
春ちゃん、よかった。間に合った。
Looking at the clock, it was time when everyone would normally still be asleep, but Nao-chan had come. Gomen, Nao-chan. I ended up asking you to do so many troublesome things.
いいの。私にできることだったら頼ってもらって。それにしても、いきなりね。
Yeah, I think so too.
でも、春ちゃんがどうしてもって思ったからなんだよね。
Yeah. I've heard a lot of people from the things I ran away from, the things I lied about, and other such things that had accumulated up until now. Even Nao-chan, who had been caught between myself and Sora, and whom I inflicted many painful experiences. So, I don't want to do those sort of things anymore. Even little by little, I would confront them, and determine the way by which I would live from now on. Now that I've gotten the chance, I thought it was time to move on. I had to rely on Nao-chan again, but when I explained the situation, she was at my back with a smile. So I felt that now I would look ahead and go on. Not to depart from here, but to come back.
春ちゃんは本当に強いね。
No, that's not true.
ちょっと合わなかっただけでいい顔つきになってる。春ちゃん、私も春ちゃんを迎えてあげられるように頑張るね。今まで何もできなかった自分を変えるために、私はここで。
Nao-chan.
春ちゃんがここに遊びに来なくなった夏休みの終わりを思い出してきちゃった。また会うことができたら、
今度こそ失敗しないようにってずっと思ってたのに。私は全然変われてなかったから。だから今度会う時には私またはるちゃんたちのお姉さんになれるように頑張るから、絶対帰ってきてね。ソラちゃんと一緒に。
はい。
なおちゃん。
Sora came out of the front door, looking discombobulated, like she heard our conversation.
ソラちゃん、おはよう。今日も可愛いね。
ありがとう。
ソラちゃんがいてくれるから大丈夫だとは思うけど、気をつけて行ってきてね。
なおちゃん、わざわざ見送りありがとう。なおちゃん。
どうしたの？
私ずっとなおちゃんに。
But Nao-chan interrupted that and amicably shook her head.
ソラちゃん、私ははるちゃんとソラちゃんにひどいことをしたの。今すぐ全部許してもらえることじゃないって分かってる。
私もうなおちゃんに謝ってほしくない。最初は嫉妬だったの。そして春を傷つけてるって思ったから。だから私はなおちゃんにひどいことをした。でもそれなのに一生懸命私たちのことを考えてくれた。なおちゃんだって傷ついて、それでも一生懸命謝ってることに気づけなかった。ごめんなさい。ごめんね、なおちゃん。
ソラちゃん、謝らないで、ソラちゃん。もうそれだけで。
The two of them hugged each other tightly. I had to apologize to both of them too. I was also why Sora kept avoiding hurting Nao-chan. And with another misunderstanding, I had restarted my life here. That we could once again have a good relationship like we had in the old days. I closed my eyes to the past and lied to myself about that. Such distortions had hurt Sora and made Nao-chan, whom always been waiting for me, suffer without end. Nao-chan, thinking that she didn't want to make us suffer more than we already had always wanted to apologize to us. So no matter what had been said, she would help us. Nao-chan, Sora, to both of you.
はる
ちゃん。
Without another word, the two of them hugged me by the shoulders. And with just that, with their feelings seeming to flow into me, I could say nothing more. Like that, we had no choice but to face our feelings, to admit to our mistakes, and to rectify them. There was no easy solution, only to face our feelings and become honest. That might be painful, but I felt the two of them had faced each other and spoken of their true feelings.
いけない。電車の時間が。
That's right. ごめんね、Nao-chan.
これ途中でお腹すくと思うから簡単なお弁当を作っておいたの。
いい匂い。ありがとう。
じゃあいってらっしゃい。
行ってきます。
行ってきます。
We waved with our hands and walked carrying our trunks to the Ekinai. We looked back several times, and with Nao-chan's smile pushing at our backs, we went on forward again. Nao-chan kept watching us until we were out of sight.
はるちゃん、ソラちゃん、ずっとここにいてもいいんだよ。だから。
ハル、何してるの？
I was emailing Migiwa-san.
なんで？
Well, since we left so suddenly, I had to explain it a little. I had asked Nao-chan to take care of some more things, but I would need to follow up with her too.
私にはメールしないくせに。
We live in the same house, so isn't talking faster than email?
ちぇ
Sora grumbled as she stared blankly into the distant landscape. It took 10 hours by plane from Nippon. I wondered how many seconds it would take this email to fly the distance. The two of us had struggled to travel such a distance. Even though we had made a plan and studied our routes and connections, our journey was still a struggle. The number one problem was the language. Sora had already given up communication from the beginning and left all the negotiations to me. Using only a basic guidebook examples, I managed so far, but worry about daily chats with the man who invited us due to my conversational limitations. I even thought about relying on the translation software on Sora's notebook, Notopasakal, but that would take time, and we couldn't connect to the net anyway, so it was pointless. If I was to go to such trouble, drawing pictures or communicating by writing might still be quicker. It seemed like the only ones having trouble communicating were us, and the locals somehow understood what we wanted to say and taught us various things. Were we being cheated? That was what we suspected at first, but everyone was nothing but kind, and it felt like we were being welcome. So we'd get by somehow. I was quite looking forward to meeting that person. I wanted to hear something about our parents we didn't know. I wanted to know what sorts of things our parents did here, because that was the purpose of our trip. And now we should have gotten all the way to the neighborhood of the guy who invited us, but we could see no such thing as a house. Around us were nothing but plowed fields, and the roads were expensive of unpaved farmland. The only thing there was a hut that seemed like it was used for farming. The taxi driver saying this was the address we had given, had dropped us off and left. It was in the middle of nowhere. It would be overly naive to think there was nothing weird about the place. Well, it'll be pointless if we lollygagged here, so I'll investigate around a bit.
いいじゃないこのままで。誰かそのうち通ると思う。
If no one comes, then what? Although someone would come around, I hope he doesn't get worried or anything.
してたら迎えにぐらい来てくれるって。慌ててないのは毎日がこんな感じだから。だったら私たちが慌ててもしょうがないよ。
Sound like a matsume.
春はせっかち。少しは旅の雰囲気とか味わった方がいい。パパもママも多分のんびり旅をしていたと思うから。
I see. Certainly when I've been desperately leaving through my guidebook before coming here, the scenery, people, atmosphere might not have found room in my mind. I leaned against the trunk Sora had sat herself down on and took a deep breath.
そうそう。たまには私の隣で休んでよ。一緒に旅行してるんだよ。いろんなものを見て、同じことを感じて、思い出をいっぱい作りたい。ね、ほら、空の色も、大地の色も、日本と全然違う。綺麗だね。外国の絵本にある風景って、本当にあったんだね。
Yeah, it does. Now that you mention it. I look up at the sky. Because my parents, having come here on business, have been looking up at these skies as they thought of us left behind in Nippon. As they thought of one day showing these skies to us. I recall the words at the end of the letter we gotten. The sky that our parents looked up to with inspiration. That was our names. Haruka and Sora. Wherever we were, under the sky, we were connected. That sort of desire must have been passed down to us. Thoughts of being connected. I also looked up at the sky and thought about the people to whom, even going forward, I would continue to be connected. I thought for that reason, I would definitely return to that place.
あ、春、あれ見て。
Huh? Is that a horse cart? I saw in the distance a cart drawn by two horses, with an atmosphere looking like it had just come out of a movie or comic strip. I didn't know where it was headed, but it was slowly approaching us. Hay was stacked up on the horse cart, and a white-haired Oji-san was driving.
のんびり待っててよかったでしょ？
I guess we will. Sora, wave your hand. The cuter the girl calling, the faster they will come.
春も手を振って。女の子だって 間違えてくれそうだから。
That's just wrong. Somehow. Even when we finally waved, it came unhurriedly. The relaxed Oji-san directed us to the straw-filled wagon, not questioning our situation. The clattering of the suspensionless wagon was at first bewildering, but with the layered straw as a cushion, the seating was not uncomfortable. I showed Oji-san the address on the letter, and he just nodded without making any conversation. After a while, Sora must have been tired, and she fell asleep snoozing. Seeing Sora's innocent, angelic, sleeping face, the Oji-san gently smiled. He patted my shoulder and began to sing a pastoral-like song. Then after a brief horse-cart rocket journey, we were dropped off at our destination around dusk. And then for the next several days, though we were only children, we received thorough hospitality. The food was so good, it had Sora asking for more. Neighbors questioned our twin status. We met diverse people daily, interacting despite language barriers. Our hosts, having worked with others besides my parents, enabled us to converse in their native language, Ego, and some Nihongo, which helped. Also, they told us about when our parents first came to this country and what sort of work they've been doing. Some of the stories were very interesting. Although they came for business, they had enjoyed themselves so much that people thought they were just traveling for fun. But before they knew it, their work was done, and they were bringing good things back to Nippon and being praised for their business acumen. Also, we learned that the stuffed rabbit that Sora had gotten from Okasan had been brought from the flea market in this country. Wow. Very important details. Thanks, Finland. Sora said she wanted to go there too, so we took her over to the flea market and took the opportunity to look for omiyage.
これかわいいかも。
The place where the flea market was held was a small city by the seaside, and all sorts of things were neighboring countries had been brought in. Numerous languages filled the place, mingling with diverse things and people from all nations beyond the country zone. The flea market here had a long story, and sometimes even an unexpected antique was sold here at a low price. It seemed to be one of the most famous markets in Europe, with many shoppers coming from overseas. But I thought of it like a bazaar, with a relaxed atmosphere and neither buyer nor seller acting the brute. I found many potential souvenirs, but weren't sure about the market prices, so I chose to window shop at various places for now. Sure enough, Sora stood out even here. Her light complexion caught everyone's attention, and people were even taking pictures and offering to buy us souvenirs. I brushed them off with my poor command of their language, and we went to the center of the flea market. There were some delicious smelling food being sold here and there, but since fresh food kept poorly, I thought we'd just get some biscuits or canned fruit later. Sora, don't go ahead on your own again, okay?
わかってるって。
Sora blended in so well with the town's atmosphere that I almost lost track of her. Sora and I examined an intriguing store's goods that were unseen in Nippon, both enthralled by the unique items. I wondered if Okasan and Otosan had forgotten they were at work and felt like they were dating, like we were now.
ハル、これなんかおしゃれだと思う。
Huh? A hand mirror?
うん。持ち運びしやすい大きさだし、デコレーションもキラキラしてかわいい。
If you like it, I'll buy it for you.
じゃあ覚えとく。他に欲しいものが見つからなかったらこれにするね。
Wakata. The person accompanying us was impressed with Sora's good taste. Just like your Okasan, don't you have a talent for finding good things, he said. Indeed, the things Sora chose were without fail cute and suited to her. Sora's talent will be her superpower if you go into business, he said, poking my shoulders.
ハル、なんて言われてたの？
That your sense for finding good things is like our Okasan's.
ママに私が
He has the aesthetic mind, TLDR. Yeah, that's why he was saying your taste would be so useful if we ever went into business.
ハルはどう思った？
Me? It is, I simply think there's a lot of good things everywhere, so I want everyone to get to see them. It's such a waste that you can't see them without coming here.
そうね。パパとママも同じことを思ったから、インテリアを売るお仕事を始めたのかな。
Well, maybe that's why they got into the importing business. You know, stuff that Japan couldn't normally see, and they just imported stuff. I totally understand that. Yeah, maybe they did.
なんだかできそうな気がしてきた。
Huh? Do what?
パパとママのお仕事。春はどう？
It still hasn't pinged to me. But I think that trip has shaped out to be a really good experience for me. The things my parents had seen up to here, I was now chasing. I didn't know if I was feeling the same things they had, but somehow I was feeling like I could imagine how the two of them felt. You could find things for me like Okasan did, and I could sell them. That doesn't even seem impossible. For that, I would have to study a lot more though.
春がお店をやりたいって言うなら私も手伝う。春が苦手なことは私が手伝えるかもしれないし。
You wouldn't seem to be good at customer service, so what could you do?
春だって口下手のくせに。でもいいと思う。いつかお店を開きたいって春が思えるようになったら、パパとママが伝えたかったことを私たちが引き継ぐ。それも素敵だと思う。
Sora.
あ、このオルゴール聞いたことがない曲。
What's Japanese for music box?
あ、このオルゴール聞いたことがない曲。
Orogu. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's why. Okay, that makes sense. Because when I'm looking at the title of songs, particularly some Origo versions of them, I see. Okay, it is. Okay, I get it now. It is Origo. Sora put her ear to something that looked like a little toy box and listened to the tones. Maybe it was because they never got the sort of playfulness that my parents always seemed to be having so much fun. Wait, what's this? Maybe it was because they never forgot this sort of playfulness that my parents always seemed to be having so much fun. Yeah, this sentence could be improved a little. Since my parents passed away, I never had any free time, and I lived like I was being driven. But here was so generous and tolerant that it was meaningless to live so frugally. I wondered if this place was influencing even me. I was shamed at how narrow-minded the wording me had been. And what that brought me to realize was...
ねえ春、欲しいものが見つかったの。
Huh? Nani?
この指輪。
Damn, you just know. You just know. Yubiwa. Sora showed me the silver ring. Behind us, the old lady running the stall nodded brightly.
内側に文字が彫ってあるの。
Lese naus. Not in this country's language. Wait, let me search up what that means before we find out what the hell it is. Dinu. Oh wait, wrong spelling. Diuna. What the hell? Because it directed me to finish, and then si unaus is blessing. Oh, okay. Maybe the sinuaus. Okay. But they're in Finland. It translated. The Google Translate automatically gave me like a Finnish word. But I think let's see is like literally let's see. Dore dore. See unaus, which means blessing. Not in this country's language, but it was literally in Finnish. Anyway, the old lady pointed at the two of us and nodded.
私たち二人に関係している言葉みたい。
It can't be a wedding ring, can it?
どうかな？ね、つけてみてもいい？
Can you get it on? It would be nice if the size fit. Sora put her left ring finger into the ring and showed me.
ぴったり。どうかな、春。
It suits you. Sure is for it suits you as it isn't too tight. With pleasure, the old lady gestured as if to tell us to come in.
綺麗。
Ah. I didn't know if she had known the significance when she put the ring in that place in her finger. But even without that, it was a perfect fit for Sora.
買ってくれる？ハル。
Yeah, of course. Perhaps even if it couldn't be like this all the time, just being next to Sora. I wondered if Sora had the same feelings when she picked up the Yubi. Let's see. How much? I mobilized the full limits of my command of Ego to try and negotiate, but the old lady shook her head and apparently not understanding Ego. She repeatedly conveyed the price in various languages, lifting one of her fingers, which actually made it harder to understand. No, in the guidebook. I opened the guidebook I brought with me, looking for the daily use phrases, but I have wondered to which country the old lady was even from.
パロンケムレッセだ。
What the fuck? Is she making words? What? Let's translate this. Balloon. Andeke. Seda. Translate. Why is it the first thing that came to my search was Estonian? It is Estonian. Oh, it is Estonian. Okay. Interesting. We randomly discovered Estonian. She's a long way from. No, that's not exactly a wrong way. Long way. It's like she had to cross the Baltic Sea, I think. I mean, look at my geography. I know that. Oh wait, crossing Estonia to Helsinki isn't that far. I don't know what my sense of geography is. Oh, okay, it's not that far. Okay. Okay. Anyway. Huh?
Kui paru maksabu?
Okay, let's translate this one. So the first thing she said was, please give me this. The next thing she would say would be Palju Maksaba. I mean, maybe if for some reason one of you guys is Estonian, you understand this. But I'm not Estonian, man. Anyway, it says, how much does it cost?
ハル、お財布貸して。
Wait, why does she know Estonian, man? I handed over the saifu with the exchange money inside. Sora pulled some bills out and gave them to the old lady. Lobacha gave us what was probably a thank you along with the change, and Sora returned her the same phrase.
はい、ハルお財布。
Sora,
何？
the language, do you know it?
うん、少しだけ。
In that case, you should negotiate on my behalf.
やだ、めんどい。
Besides, if you knew the language before now, you should have helped me. It would save me so much trouble if you could translate for me.
でもそれじゃ勉強にならないでしょ？またここに来ることになるんだし。
By the way, it's really awesome that Sora knew she also needed to learn Estonian. But considering I just looked at the map and they were like a river, not a river, a channel away, basically. I think that's a channel. I don't know. You know, she probably didn't just learn Finnish, but she also learned Estonian. Interesting. Wait, that means she also needed to learn some Russian as well, I guess.
ハルはもうここには来ないつもりなの？
No, I want to do that, but
だったら勉強するつもりで頑張って。さっきので分かったでしょ？じゃあ今度は何買ってもらおうかな。
Oh, if you keep saying one more time, I'll remember it.
ダメ。
Sora smiled amusedly and held the ring I brought for her up to the light. Perhaps she also knew the meaning of the letters engraved on this ring, but it seemed the only way I'd find that out would be to study. Suddenly, I was motivated. I wanted to understand those words, revisit this country with Sora, and explore the countries my parents had visited. Though little by little, the things I wanted to do were taking form, and Sora would from here on become my reassuring partner as I continued to travel in my parents' footsteps. We would both be together from here on. The ring glinting in the sunlight fit naturally upon Sora's small, beautiful hand, and I would not have minded if that moment lasted forever. Perhaps through this ring I had made a promise to Sora, a vow that from then on we would always be together, and that we would continue to uphold that promise. Sora showed me the ring and smiled. I put my hand on top of Sora's and whispered the words of the vow in my heart. Sora nodded in delight and tightly grasped my hand.
人を包むプリズムに思い思われ結ばれてゆく奇跡離さないこのままずっと君を
遥かな空。
And that is Sora's route. Thoughts? Well, it was fun. Hence, this is a fun disc. It was a good way to cap off like the story about like Sora. So I like they expanded on the stuff that happened in between how Sora's route ended and how it before they went all the way to Finland. They tried their best to they went ahead and tried to resolve like the whole friend situation, because of course they kind of skipped it over at the end of like Sora's route. But you know, I really do think that's a good way to cap off the entire storyline for the story for Haruka and Sora, because they both of course it wouldn't fully talk about the stuff that the kind of problems they'll be facing, especially considering their relationship. I mean, their relationship with society. I mean, already at this point, they already made the exercise of being able to tell their friends and being able to go with trust, and then being able to trust other people. And this was also like a, you know, at the end of like Sora's route, Haruka was like finally understood that he needed to communicate to Sora about the things he was worried about, as well as the stuff, you know. Although there was like a little bit of a failing, I think, at the letter thing, because Haruka couldn't just tell Sora about his concern. He still struggled by himself, and he just, you know, Sora was Sora essentially had to try to figure out what he was feeling at that time. I do wish that I really wish it would have been real character growth if Haruka was more like at that point he just spoke to Sora about his things he was fearing, especially that I think that the things he was fearing was rooted on both of the things that he did after like after the parents died, and you know it was something that both him and Sora did share after all. So I don't know what that was about, but you know, at the very least, Haruka did take the steps to move forward from the things he felt like he was he ran away from, like the things that started the whole thing that got him to Okokuzume in the first place. You know, at least he's taking steps to work against that, and Sora is now looking towards the future as well. So that's a good thing. I don't know, maybe I'll need time to think about what the hell was going on that part, because it was weird, because I thought after the whole lake situation, you know, and there were multiple, I totally understand the first 2 times, because at that point, you know, it's something that Haruka had developed as a habit, that he would take problems on his own and wouldn't try to share them for other people to bear, you know, something they would also carry with among people and his relationships. So yeah, but like at the 3rd time, you know, like the whole he was feeling wholly powerless and powerless over the whole. He had to close the store, and anyway, I think it's it kind of still ended the story in a sense that we didn't get a full resolution, but at least we saw the characters Sora and Haruka taking steps to somewhere that their lives would be in a better place than they were after hearing about what happened to their parents and how they handled it. So yeah, it's at least a hope for the future. Anyway, yeah. So that is Sora's route. There'll be one more route I'll be reading for Haruka and Sora. I'll be reading Yahiro's story. I don't know about reading just route. I'm mostly in the same kind of like I already didn't read Motaka's route, so I'm like, yeah. So maybe we'll get part of Motaka's route, and then we'll get part of Motaka's route until it branches out to Yahiro's route. But yeah, we'll go back to a little bit more alternating schedule for Yahiro's route and Sakuramoyu. I will be returning to Sakuramoyu. I don't know if I'm literally doing it later or I'll start tomorrow. No, I think I'll start tomorrow. I still want to play Kingdom Come Deliverance too. I have to start that game. But yeah, we'll be doing Yahiro's route, and I'll be continuing Sakuramoyu. I really want to finish that at the end. And yeah, we'll move towards to an all ages BN. So yeah, that's December. Anyway, that's it for Haruka and Sora, and yeah, I'll see you guys on the next upload for Haruka and Sora for Yahiro's route or Sakuramoyu, or if for some reason you're watching me play Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 where everyone's speaking in Japanese. The reason why I had people speak in Japanese is because aside from shit that we're doing right now, because I'm so used to listening in Japanese, I kind of remembered Dragon's Dogma 2. It was a very, very, that kind of setting, minus the cat people, but like it had a different. My brain interprets the whole thing differently if the moment if I see European shit and then European medieval shit and then they were speaking in Japanese. It's just like my isekai animes. Fuck. Whatever, man. All right. Anyway, I'll see you guys. Ciao.
Game 終了。またね。
But yeah, we get to replace this one with the more recent one.
いつしか夜がかき消された白